Eagles Nation, what's good? Listen, I'm just sitting here doing what hopefully the rest of Eagles Nation is doing, and taking a little number from Mr. Aaron Rodgers from a few years ago when he just simply said RELAX. Relax. It's just week one. Actually, we're on the eve of week two for us as we get ready to take on the Vikings. But before we do that, of course, we have to talk about what happened in week one. And listen, some of the things that happened should have been expected. Where the majority of the guys who were playing hadn't had any real game action. As much as we want to act like joint practices are like game action, it's not. And so I appreciate the fact you preserving guys' body, because you need it, considering we had a long season last year. And we're, of course, expecting to have a long season this year. So I'm fine with winning ugly and keeping guys fresh. Because at the end of the day, what matters is not style points when it comes to football. What matters is did you win the game as opposed to losing the game. And the Eagles did what we all knew they were going to do, and they beat the Patriots. And beating the Patriots, they beat a team that is always defensively sound, so we shouldn't have expected to put up 40 and 50 points, but we came out with a win. When you have somebody who is as masterful in their defensive concepts as Bill Belichick, we should not have expected Jalen to throw for 300 yards. I'm just saying. But we came out with a win. Also, unlike the Stephen A. Smiths of the world and the Ryan Clarks of the world and the Elliott Shore Parks of the world and the John McMullins of the world and the Les Bowens of the world and even you, Ron Jaworski, must admit to this fact. Now that there is significant tape on Jalen Hurts, this will be the year of adjustment for Jalen Hurts. It does not change you, Tony Romo. It does not change the fact that he is the franchise quarterback. The reason that Jalen is a franchise quarterback is because what Jalen has done since day one in coming to Philly is he wins games. What he does is he responds to adversity, like when he fumbled but didn't crumble. I wish I could get somebody to go with me on this thing. What he continues to do is simply win games and be the calming presence for the offense and the presence for the defense, because the defense traveled and we get the win. And at the end of the day, what all of us should want is for us to win the game. I don't care when it's ugly. I don't care when it's pretty. I don't care when it's dominating. I don't care when it's questionable. All I care about is that at the end of the day, we're all screaming, "Fly, Eagles, fly," on the road to victory because we got another dub. Now, if we're talking about anything else, what is it worth? I mean, let's really talk about some things that matter. Let's talk about how Nakobe Dean, the dean of the defense, looked good until he got hurt. He really did. All the doubters who were questioning his ability, he was getting the job done. Let's talk about Jalen Carter and how when he was in, he was dominant. Let's talk about Jordan Davis. Has progressed and doing great things. Let's talk about Milton Williams, who had a strong game. Let's talk about Fletcher Cox showing leadership, and not only that, showing crunch time ability. Let's talk about Josh Sweat, who had a great game. Almost had an interception. If he picks that off, that's a pick six. Speaking of pick sixes, let's talk about big play Slay. 70-yard Green Acre house call for a touchdown. That's big. Let's talk about Jake Elliott, whose foot led us to never letting New England get in a position to really beat us. Let's talk about Josh Jobe, who came in for an injured Bradbury and off a simple push, secured our victory for us. Let's talk about Kenny Gainwell, looking like a pretty doggone decent running back. Now let's also talk about DeAndre Swift, who didn't get enough touches. Let's talk about A.J. Brown. Got the job done. Let's talk about Devontae getting his touchdown. At the end of the day, we got the win. Let's talk about Dallas Goedert, who, did not have a lot of touches, did not get a lot of targets, but it's a long season, and Dallas will have his day. That's Dallas Goedert, that is. We could care less about the Cowboys here. Holla if you hear me, Eagles Nation. But at the end of the day, we did what we were supposed to do, and we won the game. So now we've taken care of that and some of the things that we can talk about in that win. Let's talk about Thursday night and what we need to do to beat the Vikings. Because even though the Vikings lost, I'm not expecting that this is going to be an easy game for us. Number one, it's a short week. And number two, just like some of us fans have questions, I'm pretty sure that Coach Sirianni and others are trying to figure some things out and getting into a rhythm offensively, because that's really what it's going to come down to. They need to get into a rhythm. And once they find that rhythm, once Brian Johnson finds that rhythm in his play calling, I believe the offense is going to take off. Until that time, hey, the defense has to be able to bend and yet not break, which, hey, they showed they can do that against the Patriots. And right now, the defense needs to be the strength of the team until that rhythm's found. Hey, this is Brian Johnson's first time being an OC in the NFL. It takes a little time. We can be patient. We have enough talent to be patient enough, and we have enough ability to score enough to win the game. So that's one side of it. The other thing we have to look at is, of course, at some point, my favorite cousin, Kurt, that is going to throw some picks. He's going to turn the ball over. They don't have Dalvin Cook. I don't believe in them having an explosive running game at all. And you see how we've handled the running game last week against the Patriots. The only thing that gives me a little bit of trepidation, not a whole lot of fear, is Justin Jefferson. But with Slay out there, who locked him down last year, I think the Slay kind of negates him. Jefferson, I mean, it's hard to keep him catchless. But I'm not looking for him to have a big breakout game. And so I'm thinking that the Eagles are going to win by 2 scores. It won't be as ugly as some would say in the first week, but it's going to progress and it's going to get better. So again, Eagles Nation, let's relax. Let's pump the brakes and continue to fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory number 2. And if you like this type of analysis, we have even more. If you just check us out, 2 Dudes and a Mic on a YouTube channel with me, T.A. Brown, and the good neighbor, Henry Sanders, doing high school pick'em, college pick'em, NFL pick'em, and just talking sports and having a good time in a relaxed type of atmosphere. So check us out. Once again, that's YouTube, 2 Dudes, 1 Mic. Me, T.A. Brown, and the good neighbor, Henry Sanders. And this is, of course, your moment of hearing just a little bit on my feelings on my beloved Philadelphia Eagles. So again, Bird Gang, let's go. It's a Philly thing. Let's keep flying.